Welcome, class. How was your guys' night last night?
Pretty solid.
Did you guys read the book that I told you guys to read, the article?
Yeah.
You did? Oh, good job, class. Okay, so today we are going to be going over scanning. So, have you guys ever heard of scanning before at all?
Like where you put docs on like a printer and you
That
scan
is a form
it?
of scanning, but not this scanning necessarily. So this scanning is actually a reading comprehension strategy. And yesterday we went over the reading comprehension strategy skimming. Scanning is actually kind of a lot like skimming, as they both locate specific information in a passage, and you don't have to read all the text, which we all like that, because who likes sitting down reading the full textbook? You guys can use scanning to scan job offers for certain key details, like the hourly pay you guys might get, or like the time off you guys might get. Or we can use it while scanning the textbooks for like an answered question, so like kind of like based off of a worksheet. Some vocab is rapidly move with your eyes across the text rather than reading it, and you look for the specific word or number, and specific information, which is like the information you are looking for, so that's going to be located in the question. Key details, which tell us what the specific information actually is, and then you guys need to have some good reading skills, which I know you guys all have because we've been doing a lot of this stuff recently. And you guys can just raise your hand if you have a question or need help at all during this. So, what is scanning? Scanning is using your eyes to look for a specific item in text, like a word, a phrase, or a number. So, for example, like the question asks, what year was George Washington born? You'd be looking for the key information of like the year numbers, like 1904 or something like that. And we use scanning while we search like newspapers or job applications or articles or details. And we can also, like I said before, use it during the textbook, which is what we'll be doing today. What you look for while you're doing it is the key details for the question, and we scan to locate information in a quick time. So for our example here, you see this article. It says, Ben Franklin was an inventor, diplomat, editor, writer, and politician. He is one of the most important Americans in history. He was born in 1706. His father was a candle maker, and Benjamin had 16 brothers and sisters. When he was a teenager, he ran away and started his own printing business. Benjamin Franklin went to invent many useful things we still use today, such as bifocals, the first public library, hospitals, fire stations, and the lightning rod. I know you guys all remember that's the picture where he's holding up getting struck by lightning with a key. And he also invented the Franklin stove. He later became a politician and worked with George Washington and Thomas Jefferson, and Franklin had a great impact on American history. So just by looking at this, it's like just a plain old, big old, boring block of text, and you necessarily wouldn't want to read all that if you were looking just for one specific question. So our specific question would be, when was he born? And what we do for that is we look for the word born, which is going to be right up here. So the question asks, when was he born? So the key word is going to be born. So when you locate here, you read through it, you scan it rather than reading all of it, looking for the word born. And when you find it, you're going to put a square around it, and then shortly either before or after, you guys will find your answer. So in this case, it says he was born in when? When was he born, guys?
1706.
1706, yeah. So you would go through there and then circle it. So that was just like easier than having to read through the entire paragraph. Well, if you would have read it, you actually would have found in the second sentence, there's a lot of times where the answer comes down to like the very bottom, like the end of like an article or something. So you would have had to read like 2 or 3 pages to fully get the information on there. Does anybody have any questions on that or how you guys do that? You just remember you scan it and then you find a key word, which is born, put a square around it, and then you look for the answer and you can circle the answer, and that should answer the question that was on there. And then you can see here Benjamin Franklin was born in 1706.